Hello and welcome to a brand new series. I'm Joe if you're new around here, and this is F1 2020, the return of Jordan GP with my team. A brand new feature on this year's game. I cannot wait to get into it. Make sure you click that subscribe button for daily F1 2020 content for the foreseeable future. I cannot wait to get into this. I've not been so excited for an F1 game since F1 2010, which says a lot about the build-up for this. So here we go, we're going into my...
Welcome to my team. Here, you'll experience the world of Formula One not only as a driver, but as the owner of a brand new F1 team. First things first, let's choose your character.
So as you guys can see, already got my character set up.
Let's set up some of the key details of your new team.
Right, so let's...
What name would you like to give the team?
Okay, so we're going for a team name. Obviously, we're going for Jordan, GP, F1, team. There you go. But obviously, we need to put the spaces in. Otherwise, it'll look quite revolting. But there you go, Jordan, GP, F1, team.
Income stream is critical, so we need to sign a primary sponsor.
Right, so primary sponsor.
They will pay a signing bonus to the team up front. This is vital to cover the early investments we need to make. They will also provide valuable weekly income for us. Each sponsor has a goal that they want the team to achieve. If we hit that goal, the sponsor will pay us an additional goal bonus.
Right. Well, let's see what's the highest signing bonus. So we've got that one. Earn 25 Constructors Championship points. I think that's achievable, but actually I think this one is probably more. We only get 100,000 less signing on. We get a pretty good bonus still, the same weekly income, but 5 points finishes. I think that finishing 10th 5 times with either one of us is going to be better.
Our car won't be going anywhere fast without a power unit, so let's sign a power unit supplier now. We need both performance and durability from our power unit, but we also need to balance the books. We're going to have a lot of other areas to invest our cash into.
So, I think Mercedes is the most cost-effective team to go for. It gives us 1.7 million to get a teammate with. So I think Mercedes, obviously the second best performance there. I think looking at the weekend, they're going to be getting the biggest patch whenever that patch comes. They've got a great durability. I don't see anything going wrong with that.
We almost have all the key partners for our team now, but we still need a teammate for you. These are the drivers available to be your first teammate. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses, so consider everything when deciding who to hire. Drivers earn acclaim based on their performances. When a driver earns enough acclaim, they will level up. The higher a driver's level, the more acclaim they will earn for their current team. And remember, the faster the team levels up, the faster our income will increase. The higher a driver's experience, the more resource points are earned to spend on vehicle upgrades. Racecraft is the driver's skill to effectively complete overtakes when opportunities arise. Awareness shows the driver's ability to avoid errors and incidents. Pace describes the driver's ability to set competitive lap times. Rating is a summary of the driver's overall skill level.
So there you go, after Carl rambled on for a little bit. I always had the full intention of getting Mick Schumacher. I was a bit worried when I heard, you don't always get the same drivers. I think Jack Aitken could well be a very good signing. But Mick Schumacher, the Jordan link to Michael Schumacher, I think this is too good a story to turn down. Mick Schumacher is going to be driving for us. He's got very good pace. He's a very cheap contract, 500,000 less than Aitken would be. So I think we go for Mick Schumacher. I think we can really develop him and create a good bond with him. So let's get into that.
Power unit supplier and teammate. Go ahead and confirm if you're happy.
So there you go. So we get 5.1 million from the sponsor. 3.4 million goes to Mercedes for the pleasure of using their power unit. And then of course 1 million to Mick Schumacher for his contract. So let's get into it.
Select or edit delivery will be running this season. We can add more sponsors to the car as we sign them throughout the year. And don't worry, we can edit our look at any time from HQ.
That's nice to hear. We can edit the look at any time. So we've obviously got this car, but let's see what different liveries we can go for. So we don't want anything too crazy. You know, obviously we want that classic Jordan look. I mean, that's looking quite impressive. So I think I'll equip that one for now. Quite like the look of that one. I'm just thinking where the yellow and black's going to go again. That one's quite nice. I think I prefer that to this one. Or do I? Maybe not, actually. That one's quite nice. Okay, so let's change the colour. Let's see what it looks like. Hang on. Why can't I change the colour of that one? Ah, weird. Ah, okay, so you can't change the colour scheme at all on those ones. That's good to know. Right, that one looks the most similar, so we obviously want to change it to the classic Jordan yellow. It's sort of more that yellow than anything else, I think. Yeah, we want to... Yeah, I think that looks pretty good, actually, as a first try. I think the black, we want to make it properly black. Yeah, it looks pretty matte at the moment, but I suppose that's the way F1's going. But I quite like that as a livery. Obviously, we can change it at any time, which is really good. So yeah, let's pick that one. Oh, so you can zoom in, zoom out. Nice. Okay, sponsor decals, you can edit. Okay, so I can change that later on. So I guess it's this one that we're selecting.
Badge for our team branding. Select an existing badge, edit it, or create one from scratch.
We can create one from scratch. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I don't know if we can put any text. Obviously, the Jordan GP badge is just text, really. So there's some emblems here. Okay, we'll go for that. There doesn't seem to be any sort of letter that looks like J, which is a shame for Jordan. But no, I think that looks all right. So if we save and exit, that one will do.
Last but not least, we need to pick team colours for the rest of our branding. You'll see these colours throughout HQ.
Okay, so colours for the rest of the branding. Well, of course, yellow is going to be the main one. We're going to have black as well, and we might as well have white, I think. So I think, yeah, that looks pretty good. Copy livery colours. Okay, there you go. That'll do.
That's everything we need. You can go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start of each season. But if you're ready to go, hit Advance to head to Team HQ, and we can start our push to the top of Formula 1.
So here we go, advancing on. We're, of course, in my team, we're going to do 22 full races on this channel. So, yeah, no condensed season in this world. So let's get into it. F1 2020 allows you to do that. Okay, cool. So just to start off with, this is going to be our sort of setup, full practice, full qualifying, formation lap on, 25% race distance. I am a full-time teacher, so you know, time is of the essence, especially for daily content. So we'll stick it at 25% for now, and we'll stick it on 90 originally. We'll have full simulation vehicle damage, safety car on, of course. Corner cutting regular we'll put rather than strict, because yeah, I think strict can be a little bit too harsh. Manual race starts, tyre temperature, surface and carcass looks good, driver moves on. Okay, nice. Okay, and the assists, braking assist off, anti-lock brakes off, traction control on medium for now. A dynamic racing line on corners only, and an automatic gearbox. Everything else is turned off. So heading to team headquarters, round 1 of 22. I mean, who can believe that? 22 races. Crazy, isn't it? So meet the press. F1 drivers receive a lot of media attention. Okay.
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Hello folks, and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out, though, as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. Now, there's a rich history of that in Formula One too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team, though, is that while the team itself is new to Formula One, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens this season, you've already made the history books. Tell me, do you feel up to the mammoth task of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
Well, there you go. I mean, they're saying I'm new to the sport, but I'm a 2-time world champion. Why else would Eddie Jordan want to come into cahoots with me? It's not just about me, it's about the team. Together we're unstoppable. There you go.
Every team needs 2 drivers, but what was it that drew you to your teammates?
We've seen what they can do. It was finding the right fit. They understand that we're new and appreciate the opportunity we're providing. Their skill set really suits our team. There you go.
No one aims to finish bottom of the table. Who's the team you're aiming to beat?
Alpha Tauri, Williams, probably Williams is going to be the one. They're our rival team.
Feel out on track.
Sim data looks good, but we won't know until we get out on the track. I think that's the right answer.
The other teams now have years of experience, both on and off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them?
This era has brought lots of complexity into it. We found plenty of RERS, reducing drag, keep the weight down. It's going to be tough. We'll have a better pitch after the first race. I think try and stay as conservative as possible.
Part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way?
Right, so we've got power. We've developed an incredibly light car. I mean, we don't know any of this at this point. I think every bit out of the power unit will be good.
And finally, which of your new departments are you most proud of?
Oh dear, aerodynamics. Let's give them a bit of love.
Well, that's about all we've got time for here. We will see how this fledgling team fares in its first Grand Prix.
Okay, great, thank you. That's a wrap.
So there you go then. First media interview. What's his name? Will Stevens? Will Buxton. Will Stevens was a race driver, Joe. Yeah, Will Buxton is his name.
You nailed exactly what the team's been working on. When you've got time, check the R&D tree to see our current progress and where we think there's room for more. And while you're at it, why not take a stroll around HQ and check on how the team's doing?
Okay, so balance and act. Here you can see the team's balance. Your sponsors will give you cash each week and extra bonuses when you complete their objectives. These are your resource points. You can use these to help upgrade the car. You can spend them at any time. This is your team's acclaim level. Okay, cool. Right, so we've got our car reveal on the 6th. We've got weekly resources and running costs coming out on the 2nd. So we're currently on the 25th of Feb. And the 12th of March is, of course, the Australian Grand Prix. So we're after pre-season testing. We're revealing our car 6 days before the Australian Grand Prix.
Between races to the fullest extent, and that's where these activities come in. Manage everyone's time as efficiently as possible to maximize the team's performance.
Okay. So we can use an autofill feature, but I suppose we can have a little look. So 26th of Feb. What do we want to do? Pre-season merchandise sale. Okay. Well, why don't we have... Hang on, I'm trying to work out how many... So we've got a little while before the car reveal. I think we do 2 batches of 5 days, I think. No, aero and chassis. Right. Yeah, okay. I'm glad you can change it. Okay, and then a driver camp between then and the Australian Grand Prix. I think that looks good. So aero and chassis focus for a little bit, because I think our powertrain's going to be alright. Our durability is probably going to be okay as well. And then driver training camp. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So we've got messages. That new car smell.
This is where you can view our current facilities and the effects they're having on the business. You can also invest some of our cash into upgrades for these facilities.
Okay. So we've only got 700k at the moment. I do want to see where our car lies in the grand scale. Well, apparently we're quicker than Williams and Haas. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. We have got 1,000 resource points here. So where are we lacking? Okay, so it's looking like aero is pretty poor. So we'll get that developed. And we'll try and get one of these developed as well. Okay, so a couple of R&D parts off and running. Let's have a little look. So chassis. Okay, so that's 2.5 million. So a lot of these are going to be pretty expensive. But you can see there some awesome footage. Anything in there? You can see. Well, I think that was me actually, rather than Mick Schumacher. Anything we can upgrade? Doesn't look like it at the moment. That's absolutely fine. I wasn't expecting that. So we've got vehicle, obviously 3 power units for the most part, gearboxes, weekend tyre allocation, so we can change that here. I think we want probably a balanced approach, because I think we'll try and roll the dice on strategy a little bit. Why can't we get... Oh, we've got to increase our acclaim level to get more sponsors. Okay. So we've got the driver market.
You can see pertinent details on each driver in the sport. Compare them with each other and add them to your watch list. When the contract negotiation window rolls around, this is where you will approach any drivers you wish to hire.
Poor Latifi, 63 rated. Oh, Antoine Hubert is in there. Rest in peace. I'm very surprised he's in the game, but I suppose it's very nice to see, actually. But there you go. So I suppose you've got to have the right acclaim level to get that. Right, where am I? So that was corporate. So finances, we can have a look at that. We'll look at all of this in the future. I think for today we'll just keep the suits and the and whatever the general thing, and between episodes I'll sort all of that out. So I suppose all that's left to do is advance time. Up to the car reveal. let's go to the car reveal then. I'm looking forward to this. This is exciting. I wasn't expecting this. Doesn't she look beautiful? That wonderful Jordan Grand Prix car. It's great to see them back in the sport. And I cannot wait to get into it. Make some little tweaks in between episodes to make it look absolutely perfect. Because the sponsor looks a little bit lame at the moment. Maybe make that red or something before the Grand Prix. But we've obviously got the training camp coming up. So there's our running costs, but we have got some more money in, so you can see we're over the £1 million mark now. So, oh, this screen looks brilliant. So go to race weekend, tyre allocation. As I've said, it's going to be just a simple medium or standard tyre allocation, I suppose. But now I'm going to hand over to future Joe, who's going to tell you how it all got on in qualifying. So here we are then in the qualifying or the sort of race hub, motorhome, whatever you want to call it, data center I think it was called in previous games. But yeah, we've got a decent amount of resource points from practice. So I think straight away we go towards gearbox durability. I know that's 500, but that'll do. We can develop the power engine a little bit as well. So we can go for the combustion chamber for fuel efficiency, but I think we want to go down the ERS route with that, and we can, I don't know, department capacity reached. So which way do we want to go? Secondary wing flaps, that'll add a bit of performance, but so will that. I think potentially the rear wing main plate is what we want, and we have got enough. So there you go. That's a load of upgrades bought, and hopefully that'll help us in our quest. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into qualifying. There was our beauty right there. So let's get going. Our first ever qualifying lap. This is the car setup that I have gone for. Feel free to copy it. I can't promise it's anything too special. Just sort of went off what I've done off previous years. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on to our first flying lap. So here we go. I'll take you guys on a lap of Albert Park in Melbourne for Jordan GP's first flying lap in F1 2020. So here we go. We're off and running. There you go, we're on to our flying lap now. What's it going to be? Who knows? I mean, a 124 is probably what we're looking at to try and compete with the teams around us. I'd be pretty happy with a 124. Pace in practice suggests that we're around the back of the midfield, which is exactly what I wanted. I expected to be a couple of seconds adrift here in Australia, but doesn't seem to be the case. A little bit of a scruffy lap so far, but as we come down through the first sector split, we'll put in a 27.6 there. So George Russell goes quickest with a 125. Now we definitely did a 124 in our qualifying sim run, so that's a good sign so far. Mick Schumacher goes quickest with a 1:24.4, and Daniel Ricciardo blows that out of the water with a 1:23.1. So we're maybe seeing that we're maybe a little bit quicker than Williams, but other than that, we might not be. Now, we've had a bit of a scruffy lap, to be honest with you. Vettel goes quickest now with a 1:22.5 as we're wrestling the car around this final sector. Everything completely 100% live commentary, by the way, so I'm commentating on this while driving it. So here we come round the final corner, up to the line. What's our first flying lap going to be in this car? It's a 1:24.5. I'll settle for that. Just ahead of our teammate Mick Schumacher, 0.4 of a second ahead of him. So we'll settle for that. We'll dial everything down. I don't know if that's going to be enough for Q2, but you know, I have a funny feeling we'll have to come back out again. Well, as you can see, guys, with 5 minutes left in the session, we're currently in 18th, so the top 16 get through to Q2 with 22 cars on the grid. We're only actually a 10th outside of getting through to Q2 at the moment, which is great. We definitely look quicker than the Williams cars, and maybe a little bit quicker than Grosjean, so we'll see.
Press and hold the radio button to activate the system, and you can either speak the command or select it manually from the radio screen that will appear on the multifunction display. While the radio is active, cycle through command groups with the MFD button.
So there we go. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so we're coming round the final couple of corners then. You can see by the delta we're a little bit up on our previous time. Half a second apparently. I don't think I believe that completely, but we're coming up to the line. What's it going to be? A 1:24 flat, so it was half a second quicker, and apparently we're through to Q2 as it stands, up to 15th. Well, that would be quite the achievement in our first ever Grand Prix. I don't think we're going to be able to do a second qualifying lap from here, so we might as well turn everything down and just cruise back to the pit lane. I'll just return to the garage, actually. There is yellow flags. Is that because of me? Apparently it is. So we'll return to the garage and we'll see if we've got through to Q2. That would be an amazing achievement if we could. Let's see. Oh, we are through. We are just about through. And look at that, 0.006 of a second ahead of Mick Schumacher, who will qualify 17th on his debut in Formula 1. And hey, you know, getting through to Q2, where we seem to be quicker than Lance Stroll, which I suppose isn't too much of a surprise. And the Williams cars are well off the pace, particularly Latifi. But very impressed to see that we're through to Q2 and Mick Schumacher so close to us. So it looks like we've got a competitive package. Well, coming through the final sector, only one run, because we only had one new set of tyres. I don't think we're going to be getting anywhere near Q3, but hopefully we can match our time from Q2 as Q1 as we come up to the line, and we do absolutely match it. And actually, we qualified 12th on that current lap. I think it's very, very close between all of these guys. Obviously, Mick Schumacher was 0.006 of a second off our time in Q1 to get through to Q2, but we've slightly improved on it again. I don't think we're going to be able to improve on that too much. We're already 0.4 down, ran out of fuel, so 12th place. But I tell you what, I'm happy with that for a debut. Let's just return the car to the garage and we'll see exactly what the story is. So, well, we're actually down to 14th by the time everybody has completed their lap. But even so, terrific performance ahead of the Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi. Both Haas cars were ahead of. The AlphaTauri of Danny Kvyat just ahead of us. But we're a long way off Q3 pace. Sergio Perez well within that boundary there. And you can see Lando Norris, the unlucky man to be pushed out. But Lewis Hamilton looking pretty fast so far. Nobody going for the alternate strategy of sticking the mediums on. But at the end of qualifying, we qualify 14th. And I'll now hand over to David Croft and Anthony Davidson, who'll take you through this 2020 Australian Grand Prix.
It's finally time once again to begin what promises to be another thrilling season of Formula One action. Pre-season times, subject of so much discussion in recent weeks, mean nothing now, as the cars line up to battle it out for points once again. So let's get this season underway. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
It's hard to imagine how a small operation like that could survive in the ruthless world of Formula One, and yet here they are, first ever race looking surprisingly strong. But there are no points for qualifying. Let's see how they fare in the Grand Prix proper.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Sainz, Ocon, Perez, and Lando Norris. Raikkonen, Kvyat, the captain, and Magnussen. Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, and Lance Stroll. Gasly, Grosjean, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Absolutely brilliant as always, that intro with the F1 theme. Really enjoyed it. Weirdly, it's still on the please wait screen. I'm hoping it hasn't crashed, but it doesn't seem to be working, so I'll see you guys in a second. Oh no, here we are.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right then. I think we're going to stick a load of fuel in the car. I think we're going to go for an alternative strategy as well. I think it's worth it. This first race of the season, I think. Start on the medium tyres, pit a little bit later, and then move on to the soft tyres later on. I think that's got to be the strategy. So pit on lap 8, maybe lap 9 if we can push it that far, and then 6 laps at the end to absolutely throw the car around on the soft tyres. I think that will overall help us out. So yeah, let's get into it. So, lights out on the formation lap, away we go.
System checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
So really hoping that we can get off to a good start here. If we can sneak into 10th, that would be fantastic. I think there are, 5 or 6, maybe 7 teams that are quicker than us. So, we've outperformed our car. We're up in 12th. I'm not fully expecting to get into the points, but it is a possibility. First race of the season. We'll see what the reliability is like.
Weather is looking good for now.
It's quite possible that we could see some reliability issues from the teams with it being the first race of the season. Certainly, with the drivers around us, we seem to be the only guy on this strategy. But hey, it's all about experimenting. These first few races, it's about finding our feet. I'm not expecting us to score points consistently early on. It's about learning the car, learning how we can improve. And today's going to be another stepping stone in that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. First race of the season, first race of a new game. There's nothing quite like it, and I'm really looking forward to Lights Out. So coming round this final corner, we have just clipped Kvyat there, so I bet you we're disqualified from the formation lap. There you go. Doesn't really matter though, because we're coming round anyway. Just jump us forward a little bit. Yeah, it's took control of us anyway. So here we go, lining up in 13th. Bottas on pole, Hamilton second, Leclerc with a grid penalty down to 15th. So we'll see how he does in today's race.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
Lights out, away we go. Here in Australia, first race of the season, first race of the career mode. And unfortunately, we were a little slow to react to the lights, but seems like everybody else was, and we've managed to stay in at least 15th. There's Giovinazzi going round. We've got Charles Leclerc right behind us as we're trying to go down the inside. Giovinazzi, and we're through. Oh, a little bit of contact there, but we're okay. Let's have a little look at that on the replay. There we go, we're coming round the inside, as you can see, giving him plenty of space. And then as we come over to take the racing line, he just sort of clips the back of us. It's very difficult to see from there, but you can see we sort of squeeze him towards the wall, but he's alright, which is the main thing. I don't want to crash cars out in the first Grand Prix of the season, but not a bad start. Okay guys, so here we are on lap 3 of this Grand Prix, DRS enabled of course. We've slotted in nicely behind Kevin Magnussen. We seem to be keeping the pace to Grosjean behind as well. Using this overtake button sparingly, obviously another new feature for this year's game. Have been told that Grosjean is apparently having fuel issues, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops throughout this Grand Prix. Looks like Mick Schumacher is in 18th position as well. Charles Leclerc is just above him. Charles, interestingly, cannot find his way past the Haas of Grosjean yet, so we're just about hanging on to 14th for now, but I expect that to change soon. Well, here comes Giovinazzi, and we've managed to block him off, but Leclerc goes through. Leclerc's through, so getting towards the end of this stint, obviously they'll be coming into the pits soon, but here comes Giovinazzi. He's going round the outside and he's through, but we managed to keep it down the inside, and we stay in 15th position for now. A little bit wide there, but generally we're okay. Obviously you've got to remember we're on the slower medium tyre at the moment, but we have lost quite a lot of time the last couple of laps, which is a little bit worrying, meaning maybe the tyre deg is a little bit stronger than we thought on these tyres, but we'll just have to see. But Schumacher seems to be through on Giovinazzi, so he's on the soft tyres, alternate strategy, so we'll see who comes out on top.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Well, we've got yellow flags up ahead, and it looks like Bottas has retired, I think, or he's had some sort of incident.
We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap.
No idea what's happened there, but we are coming in to the pits on this lap, so I think we've got to push as hard as we can here.
Green flag.
And we know that Bottas has pretty much held up all of our rivals, which is really, really good to see. But Mick Schumacher came into the pits on the last time round, So I'm interested to see whether we can overcut him almost, or whether his new tyre impact will benefit him greatly. But here we come through this sector. By the way, our fuel efficiency seems to be really good. I've had it on rich the whole time and we've not really gone too far below where we're currently at. Bottas has caught us up now, but we're going to be coming into the pits. A little bit of a mistake there. So here we come into the pit lane for our first pit stop of F1 2020.
Come on, you can win that place back.
So we're in. Such a long way up to our pit box. Why are they changing the front wing?
Go, go, go.
There was no need to change the front wing. I have no idea why they've just done that. I'm kind of tempted to use a flashback. But I don't think... Yeah, we can't really do anything. Well, that is so annoying, because I actually think we would have overcut all these guys.
Pit strategy complete.
But we're away.
See these tyres through to the end
Down
now.
to 20th place. Make that 21st. And I have no idea why our front wing needed changing. I suppose we had a little touch with... can't remember who it was now, but I feel like we had a little touch with somebody, but I didn't feel any effects to having no front wing or a little end plate off, so that's annoying. We'll have to check that next time, but we have got these...
Use your overtake button for more power.
We have got these fresh soft tyres, so hopefully we'll be able to make an impact. A little bit of a barge past Grosjean there, but we are fuming after that. Well, we've got a chance on Giovinazzi here and Lance Stroll. Going to come down the inside. And we're through on Giovinazzi. So back up to 18th position. But I'm still just raging that our front wing was changed, because it's cost us valuable seconds in this Grand Prix. We definitely would have been able to finish ahead of Mick Schumacher.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
But hey ho. 3 laps left. Well, you can see Mick Schumacher is falling down the order, as it seems his race pace is deserting him. I wish there was a function of team orders where we could have just got him to let us through there. But we're back past Mick, which I suppose is good news for us personally, but to see him falling down the order is not good to see. Yellow flag somewhere either. Don't think that was anything to do with us. Oh, Romain Grosjean out of the session, but he was behind us anyway, so it doesn't really affect anything. Can we get up to 15th position? Not entirely sure. Well, final lap of the race. Lewis Hamilton has won the opening Grand Prix of the season, and he got the fastest lap there right at the end. It'll be interesting to see where Bottas finished after his little incident. He was leading the way the whole time, I believe. Oh my word, did you see that? I think Stroll hit the wall a little bit there. Has he got any damage? Well, it wouldn't matter anyway, because we've thrown it wide there. Our tyre's fallen off the cliff. But I'm hoping these two have some sort of incident at the final corner. But we shall see. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, so Gasly's going to come through in 15th. Stroll coming through in 16th, and we finished 17th on our debut race for Jordan.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
I suppose we'll have to just take that, you know, the front wing change wasn't exactly needed, but Pierre Gasly, driver of the day, weird.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Well, loading times seem to be pretty severe in this game. Looking forward to playing it on the PS5. Hopefully it will be backwards compatible. Don't know if we're going to get to see the...
So after a magnificent...
Oh, here we go.
We can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So there you have it then. After the first race of the season, Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix ahead of Max Verstappen in second. Valtteri Bottas third with Vettel fourth. Albon fifth. Ricciardo an impressive sixth for Renault. Norris and Sainz follow with Ocon ninth and Sergio Perez in 10th. Kvyat unlucky in the AlphaTauri not to get into the top 10. Raikkonen 12th. Leclerc could only manage 13th in the end. Magnussen 14th, Gasly 15th, Stroll 16th. We finished 17th, Schumacher 18th, Giovinazzi 19th, Russell 20th, Latifi 21st, and of course, the only non-finisher, Romain Grosjean, finishes 22nd. So let's continue on, see if there are any sort of media commitments or anything that we can really talk about at the end of this episode. As you can see there, we get a claim from each Grand Prix. We've actually moved up to level 2, which is really good. Hopefully that'll help us get another sponsor. Mick Schumacher there. And you can see damage deductions none, so it's a little bit weird that we had to change our front wing. I wonder whether it was just automatically set to yes or something. We'll definitely have to check that out next time. But you will see some shiny new overalls for the next Grand Prix. I did think there wasn't much point in showing you that in video. The customization will be virtually the same, but if I find anything drastically different, I'll splice in some footage of it. But we're heading to the team headquarters. We'll just see if there's anything pressing to do. I don't think there is. So you can see we've got the Bahrain Grand Prix coming up, which is always an exciting one. I really do like Bahrain as a circuit. I'm never particularly fast around there, but hopefully we'll, at least be able to beat the Williams cars, which looks like about our level at the moment. But a good first episode, and if you have enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button down below. It really does help out, especially with these part ones. It is the single most thing you can do to help out the channel. If we could hit 100 likes for this video, that would be absolutely amazing. There's going to be 2 episodes tomorrow, so the Bahrain Grand Prix and I believe the Chinese Grand Prix. I don't know if we can look at the calendar anywhere, can we? Season results, I suppose. No, Vietnam is the 3rd race of the season, so that's going to be interesting. You'll see that tomorrow, which is officially release day. Thank you once again to Codemasters and Keymailer for giving me the game earlier. I really do appreciate it, so thank you very much. It means the world, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Subscribe for daily F1 2020 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.